Hi, my name is Harrison with the Luxury Pergola. Today we're talking about installing our heaters, what to do, best practices, why we do the heaters we do, and basically how they go in. So if you're interested in maybe buying some heaters or you already own some, this hopefully is the video for you. So first and foremost, we sell one heater on our website, and that is a 6,000 watt Infratech heater. Infratech is another company that manufactures their product in the United States. Like everything, we try and buy someone who makes it here, or at least represent someone who makes it here. So if you have any major questions, obviously you can reach out to us. You can also reach out to Infratech for huge questions. You'll notice a few key things right off the bat. You need to make sure you have clearance from any combustible thing that's here on this, but make sure you have 6-inch clearance behind the heater and 18-inch clearances from the sides of the heater and 36 inches in front of the heater. Really important, this is an infrared heater, not a gas-powered heater, not a like a heated element with a fan blowing over it heater. Infrared actually uses light waves. Instead of heating up the air and letting the air kind of flow forward, it actually uses infrared rays to heat up the surface. Almost like when you stick your hand out in the sun and you notice your hand or your arm gets warm or feels like it's warmer than the air around it, that is partially due to infrared, and that's what this does. This heats up objects, not necessarily the air. The nice thing about that is it's not influenced by wind. So if there's a whole lot of wind in your area, it can still heat up a space relatively well. Whereas obviously a fan blowing over a hot element, the wind will just take the heat right away with it. So we like infrared heaters. We like Infratech a lot. You'll notice a few other dimensions and details on here. If you're gonna buy one, go through this information. We have it on our website. I won't go through all that here. But it's important to know, yes, it can tilt. It comes on a bracket here. This mounts to our beam. The bracket can only be mounted to the bottom of our beam. It cannot mount to the side of our beam. And if you want to place these in the middle of the unit, you can do that. You should buy a center beam first and then attach the heater to the center beam. Also not included in this install manual is going to be the electrical portion of this. This runs a 220 volt line. It'll pull roughly 27 amps at full operation, which means for every heater, you will need a dedicated 220 volt or 240 volt line. So just so that you know, find out how much space you have in the breaker, contract out someone to come out and do that work for you. Use a licensed electrician. Do not run these hot wires by yourself. High voltage is not something to mess around with. Don't plan to put the heaters right next to our screens. Our screens mount on the outside and the heater mounts underneath. They'll still be too close to one another by a couple inches. So if you do plan to have screens, let's say on all sides, your heaters are gonna need to go on center beams in the middle of the unit, or at least in the bypass on a Super Perg, for example. One of those two areas in the middle of the unit rather than on the ends near to the screens. Do not put a heater and a screen next to one another. Last big note, we use a 6,000 watt heater mainly because it heats a 10 by 10 square area, so 100 square feet. We see a lot of our competitors selling a 1,500 watt heater, which runs on 110 volts. So it's nice and easy because you can plug it in, but it basically has the same power as a blow dryer or hair dryer. It pulls the same wattage. It won't heat that much space. It heats exactly 25 square feet, so a quarter of the space. For $400 versus our 100 square feet, 4 times the space for $1,000 or $1,100 if you buy it with switch. Electrical, obviously, you still need to figure out, but it will actually heat your space. So that's why we only sell a 6,000 watt heater, because it's really the only thing that people should be using. The other problem with the 1,500 watt heater is it needs to be mounted 6 to 7 feet above you, and most people don't want a pergola that's like right at the top of their head. And in my case, it would be right at the top of my head. So there are also directions in terms of where you want to place it. If you have zones that you want to heat, reach out to us. We can talk you through how you can zone out your area in terms of where your heaters should be placed. Infratech also can help with that as well. A lot of information up front, but now let's get through the install portion. Thankfully, these are really easy to put in. They're pretty simple. So as we unbox it, what you're gonna notice first, you got these staples. You got a grill that's gonna come out first. That's gonna come on to the actual heater last. And then the next package I take out here, these are the elements. The elements are the things that actually shoot out the infrared rays. Last is gonna be the main body of the heater. And then, side note, there's also a small package in there as well, and an install manual from Infratech that you can see on the ground there. take off the plastic on the body. You'll notice for these two heaters, we're putting two heaters up. These are both stainless steel versions of the heaters. We also sell it in black, so that's a personal preference, which one you like more. But you'll notice here, first thing, unbox everything, take a look at your install manual, double check clearance, double check all the information that's in there. This should be able to help you. And then again, if this isn't helpful, Infotech or us can help you with the rest of it. So I'm unboxing here the elements. The elements come in these round roller tubes. They are made of glass, so do not go crazy throwing them around or dropping them. They can break. I would check to make sure that everything looks intact before you have an electrician come out, so that if you did have any problems, obviously we can ship you a replacement element before your electrician starts running with it. First thing I'm doing here is I'm removing the protective film up front on those like decorative side caps. You can remove it at the end or you can remove it up front. I tend to be someone who likes to remove all the packaging up front, so that's why I'm removing those. If you're not used to using an impact driver or you're worried about slipping on the screw and marring that surface, then I would just leave it on. But take off the two Phillips head screws on each side for each side cap, remove those. And then you'll remove one Phillips head screw there on the inside face, where there's then this hinged portion that you then swing up and out of the way, and that gives you your two pockets to drop your elements into place. So I'll remove that screw, and then you can see me swing up that little hinge right there. And then you're gonna repeat the exact same process on the other side. See me removing the screws. They're small screws, so put them somewhere you're not gonna lose them. And then you remove the one screw that isn't in a nut, or isn't bolted in place, and then swing that out of the way. Cool. So now the next thing to do is to start dropping in your elements. So pull your wires out. You've got two wires on each end. One end has red, one end has black. The two wires correspond in terms of where they're located to the elements. So you don't want to swap the wires. So you want to make sure if you're looking at, let's say, the element closest to me, that the black wire closest to you and the red wire closest to me both line up to that element. So you can see as I bring this element in, the first thing you need to do is actually remove, it's got 3 nuts. And again, you can see this install manual here for close-up, but it's got 3 nuts on the end. One is holding everything in place, and then you've got a second nut to basically keep that situated. Then you've got a washer or a lock washer, and then you've got a third nut. What you need to remove is the third nut and the lock washer. Leave the first 2 nuts in place. Then you're gonna take your little wire there, you're gonna put it on top, and then you're gonna slide on your lock washer and then slide on your nut. There's a wrench included with the heater that you can use for this, or you can obviously use your own wrench. All right, and then I am gonna keep doing the black side, so I'll basically wire both elements on the black side, then I'll go over and wire both elements on the red side. Same thing you do here, so go ahead and take off that third nut or furthest nut from the inside of the unit, and then take the lock washer off as well. You can see in the install manual right here, in case you're wondering or you want to double check, you can see there's a nut, another nut, the wire, lock nut, and then the last nut. So go ahead and remove nut, lock washer, put the wire on, put the lock washer back on, put the nut back on. Once you get all that situated and those are all in place, you can drop them into the little pockets. Then you can swing down the hinge so that it holds them generally in the right area, and you can put the screw back in. If you're someone who's worried about breaking them, then you can also just not screw them in for now so that they can pivot a little bit easier. Because when you go back to the other side, if they're hinged in place and you pull up on that element, you're obviously gonna break it. So just try and think ahead a little bit. So once you swing that down and you put the screw in place, then you can put that side cap back on. As you're putting everything together, I have everything leaned up. Just know that this body is only sitting on top of the electrical box and it wants to roll, so be very careful with it. You can also wedge something under it or set it on top of sawhorses or on top of like moving blankets or something to keep it in place, or you just hold it as you put screws in place. All right, now I'll move over to the red side and we'll follow the exact same process all over again. Remove third nut, remove lock washer, put the wire nut on, or put the wire on rather, then put the lock washer back on, and then put the nut back on. Just make sure that the red and black correspond with each other where they're located on the heater, top to bottom. Go ahead and put those on. Once you get those on, then you can go ahead and drop both into that cavity. And then you can swing the hinge back in, put the Phillips head screw back in, and then put your side cover back on. If you were someone that did not remove the protective film, now you would remove the protective film. And last thing here is you're gonna put that grate on. You don't have to put the cover on, but I think it's kind of nice because it keeps people from reaching up maybe towards the elements, I don't know. But the grate can go on in place. You do have to compress it quite a bit. There's a lot of tension in there to get it in place. So you're gonna shove the bottom tabs in between the frame and the aluminum, and then I have to actually push down quite a bit and slide it up and in. And you'll repeat that as you walk your way down the heater. Most people will be worried that you're gonna bend and break it. They're made out of stainless steel. Your hands are probably not strong enough to actually deform it permanently. Then I like to scooch it to try and get it as centered as possible visually. And then you have one heater basically done. If you have a second heater, do the same process all over again. And then you're gonna install them on the unit here in a little bit. So first things first, for installing it in the unit, you're going to flip the unit over so that you're looking at the top hinges here, and then you pull out your brackets. There are 2 brackets with each heater that look like this. This is for a black unit. The ones that I'm using there are for the stainless steel unit. For the stainless steel, because it's easier to scratch or notice scratches, the protective film's on there. Again, you can choose to remove it now or a little bit later. Just know if you leave it on, you may not be able to remove the protective film from the top of the bracket where it meets the beam because you'll have screwed it in place and then you can't tear it off. I ran into that problem. Take off both bolts here. So this bottom one here and this plastic washer, a rubber washer rather, and then take off the small bolt here as well. You will need a wrench set to be able to do all this stuff. So small little wrenches, take these off. If you don't have any wrenches, you can use needle nose pliers. They work pretty well. I think that's what I use here. So up to you, whichever one you want to do. So first things first, put the big bolt in. You're gonna do bracket, right? So you've got your bracket here, put your bigger screw in the bottom, then you're gonna go with the rubber washer here, and then you're going to slide that onto the actual top of the heater, and then you'll finish that off with this lock nut. I would tighten this one fully. I would leave this small one out. I don't follow that in the video here, but I would leave this small one out right now because it's gonna be easier to swing it as you put the screws in. You can also put the screw in and like briefly tighten it, but don't tighten down this small screw because you're gonna have to basically swing the heater out to put this screw in and then swing the heater the other way to put this screw in. And if you have this in place, you can't swing it because that's in place. Go ahead and remove the screws from the other bracket, follow the exact same process. Okay, so I'm installing that other bracket, put the big screw in, washer, lock nut, tighten it down. Now you have it ready to install. The big thing here is just gonna be to look and see where your electrical box on the unit is, that big square portion, and put that closest to wherever you wanna run your electric lines. Or if you care about the logo Infratech, which way that's oriented, then orient it that way. Entirely up to you. There's no right or wrong answer in my opinion, whether it's upside down or not. Now to get it on the unit where I want it, I actually want each heater centered on the unit itself. So what that means is you take the entire unit itself, break it down into 4 quadrants, and then basically the lines that separate quadrant 1 and 2, and 3 and 4 are your center lines for the heater, if that makes sense. So what I did is I measured the unit, made a mark in the center of the unit, and then I'm measuring the frame, finding exactly where that break between quadrants 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 are, and I'll make a line there. And then you bring the heater up, line the center mark on your heater. I would do it in pencil so you can rub it off later. Line the center mark on the heater with the center mark on the frame itself. And then you're definitely gonna need 2 hands here. They're pretty light. So what we have here is Tyler's holding the heater in place while I situate it where I like it. And then I'll go ahead and run a screw in. I would put the bracket so it's flush on the back side here, like so. The front here will hang over a little bit. Most people won't ever notice it, but we weren't consulted by Infratech when they made their bracket to fit our specific beam. So you can also like cheat it slightly that way if you want, if you don't care about overhang backwards, but I think it looks better to flush it up on the backside. So go ahead and install one, walk to the other side, install the other screw, and then now you're going to need to swing the heater out. So you'll notice here I have to loosen those 2 small screws I was talking about earlier, swing the heater the other way, and then I can put the last 2 screws in on the front side. You will have to be at partially an angle, so just run it slow so you don't accidentally slip and hit the frame with your bit. Then go ahead and swing the frame forward. Find exactly the way you want it oriented, especially if it's on a center beam, it'll probably just face straight down. In our case, it's at the end of the unit, and so we want it facing out towards the seating area. And so we go ahead and swing it further forward so that it's pointed directly at about the middle of the unit. And that will heat, in this case, we're at a 12 by 20, so you're looking at about 144 square feet. So it won't perfectly heat the front side of the unit, but the back 100 square feet, minus the front 20 square feet, the first 2 feet, will all be relatively well heated and ready to use year round. Now, obviously this is in our studio, so no one's gonna actually get to use it, but if you do ever come by Indiana and you wanna see this unit and these heaters, you're obviously welcome to do that. But that's how you install the heater package. We obviously follow the same process on the second heater, exact same thing. And then after that, you're just gonna need to get it wired. So use a licensed electrician, follow whatever your local codes are for how you run conduit inside a unit, get everything sealed, get everything working nice. Obviously check to make sure you have enough room in your breaker. If you have any other questions about zoning or any questions about these heaters, obviously you can reach out to us at theluxurypergola.com, but hopefully this has been helpful. I'll see you in the next one.